Do deepfakes foreshadow the fall of civilization and the end of all truth? Or are they just good fun? Welcome to Tech First with John Koetsier. I've written a lot about the dangers of deepfakes, but there's another angle, right? There's an angle that's also just about fun. Reface.ai is that story. It's been a huge viral hit on the App Store, Google Play top charts for the past few months. According to Apptopia, the app has over 60 million installs. We'll get the actual scoop on that when we chat today. To get some insight and dive a little deeper, we're chatting with Dima Shvets, one of the founders. Welcome, Dima.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you for having me. Yeah,
Hey,
it's a
it is
pleasure
a
to be
real
here.
pleasure to have you. Looking forward to this. We've been working on this for like a month. My schedule, your schedule hasn't coordinated. You're in Kiev, I'm in Canada, so it's a little challenging, but it's all good. There's two stories here, right? I mean, there's this massive viral success. There's this fun app that people are enjoying, having fun with, and there's this deep fakes as a space and all the baggage that that brings. Let's start with the fun stuff. Massive viral success. Apptopia says you have over 60 million installs. Is that in the ballpark?
Yeah, Topia is kind of right. So we have almost 70. We have 69 for now. Yeah, 69 million.
Excellent,
Yeah.
excellent. I mean, and by the way, I'm showing this is me as Rambo. I use the app. That's my face. I have hair. It's incredible.
Yeah, make people happy again and with hair. Yeah.
Well, we need a little bit of happiness right now, don't we? Talk a little bit about the path. It's been pretty wild ride, or has it been fairly smooth?
It was a hard ride because, frankly speaking, deep tech is not easy at all. It's a sophisticated tech that should be developed, and a lot of different, factors and circumstances should match in order to create something really big, something viral, and some that actually have tech advantage, and specifically some barriers to entry. Because to be honest, yeah, we are from Ukraine, yeah, and all the founders understand here how it's tough to build a startup, a product story, but what is more even harder to build a deep tech story here because most of the investors here invest in like marketplaces, SaaS businesses, those who actually can gain traction really fast. In our case, we did our best, our own resources, a lot of help from our prominent angels to actually bring the technology to life. And one of the greatest milestones when we developed the technology for swap faces in photo, and like this famous tweet by Elon Musk to Dwayne Johnson, that was our, kind of not product market fit, but it was a sign that we're doing the right stuff and we need to proceed. Yeah. And after that, we launched the duplicate, and after that, we launched Reface, but it's much more, viral and pleasant story than the actual efforts to build the tech.
That's been really interesting, actually, just to hear you say that because you're right. I mean, your area, Ukraine, you're known for startups that are like kind of in real spaces with real customers with real technology. And not to say that yours isn't real, but the consumer space is not one that, we've seen massive viral hits come out of your area in Ukraine. What's been the secret of your success here? Is it right idea, right execution, right time? Is there a degree of luck? Is it amazing, extreme skill? Is it a Elon Musk endorsement? What's the secret here?
John, I want to be frank with you. It's like combination of all the factors you actually pointed out. You're right. In Ukraine, we are more outliers than the strategy that happened because mostly consumer is hard, even in US, because actually you can do something really viral, and after that it actually gains some traction, grows, but then it stops. And all those flywheels, mechanics, loops are really different. And I guess it's a combination of the team because we really have a broad expertise. I used to be a co-founder, managing partner, venture capital fund. My co-founders are tech guys, and now there's a great product guy. And such combination of factors of great expertise in people that put efforts in something specific that won't viral viable. Everybody even don't consider that, guys, you can do it. Like a year and a half ago, everybody was speaking, oh man, there is like Snap with it masks, there is like Instagram with it filters. Why do we need this stuff? And we told, guys, come on, we have a vision. It's a hyper realistic face swap. It's a banger. It's a new reality. It's the first step to the real content personalization platform. Don't mess with us. We'll try our best. And actually, we're trying so hard. We developed this low resolution photo, then high resolution photo face swap, conditional one, then low resolution video, and now we're about to make like high resolution video face swap. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's how it's happened in terms of tech.
Quite the story. You mentioned it already that you started as Doublecat or Duplicat. You switched to Reface as a brand or as a name for your app. Why and what difference did that make?
It's really interesting story, John, because you know we call our users refacers, like tenderly. It means that those guys actually, even when we were Duplicate, they started to tell like reface, refacers, and the community, and this is what actually incentivize us and make us believe that those guys believe in us and we believe in what we do. And we understood the reface as a verb. It's like future Google, we hope. It's like reface, to change not only the face, its beginning, but to change the actually perception, how people create and consume the content, and how people actually understand the personalization. And regarding Duplicate, is a funny story, because initially we wanted to launch an app to test our technology in GIFs, because it has less requirements for quality, and it actually easier to launch. And we're thinking about like Duplicate. It's a game of words inside, like double cats, duplicate. It's like duplicate. But then
Yes.
my friends and investors from US, when we were with my co-founder in February, they told us, guys, if we Google duplicate, it's like it's not DOU, it's DU, duplicate. And we cannot find your app, and then actually it's misspelled. So when the students, they realized both, pronunciation, verbal issues we have to settle, and as well, it wasn't logical, John. We have Refaceai as a tech team at the company building different solutions based on ML. And Reface, it's actually the app associated with this technology. So we switched to Reface.
Perfect.
And one last stuff, we're thinking about that when we will be switching from Duplicate to Reface, it will influence our daily active users, our virality, but nothing happened. It's even improved.
Interesting. And the community kind of led that. You're one of the success stories that you see in apps, where we've seen the ability of apps to just sort of absolutely take off and develop a community of tens of millions of users, customers, in incredibly short periods of time. Has that come with growing pains? How have you kept up with that? Has that caused issues in terms of capacity? Has that been difficult?
It was interesting. It has some issues. I can share it with you because that's how we prove the fact that our team is a team of prominent engineers of people. When we launched our latest, this hyper-realistic face swap tech in June, we actually had about 10K daily active users. And when we launched the tech and we hired ex-CEO of Snapchat Kyiv office, who was responsible for content, Alex, he's actually the guy who was, remarkable for this, famous dog mask in Snap. And actually, there was a combination of factors. And when we launched with this content mechanics, we grew to about 3 million daily active users, like in 1.5 months.
Wow.
And we spent tiny slice of, our budget on marketing. And then we understood that we need to slow down because we had to actually improve situation with our servers, with our backend. And we understand that we might have even more traffic, even more users, but we want to provide the best service, not to be, postponed or somewhere, actually postpone our activity. In that case, we managed like in a week and a half to scale our capacity to up to 5 million daily active users. And then like in 2 weeks, we already could handle up to 10 million daily active users.
So this is kind of insanity. I mean, this is the reality in our crazy digital world, right? But this is insanity. You go from 10,000 daily active users to 3 million daily active users in the course of 4 weeks. That's kind of mind blowing, right? 10,000 daily active users. A lot of apps would like to have that. I mean, you're starting out as a small developer, and you're trying to build, and it feels like nobody's installing your app, nobody's using it, right? But you have 10,000 active users. You go to 3 million in 4 weeks. I got to do the math on that at some point. I mean, just sort of that curve, but that's pretty much straight up in the air. That's your chart. That's your graph. Not easy to manage. And how do
Yeah,
you turn
yeah.
off the flow? How do you how do you tell people to stop coming in? Because when you're doing paid marketing, you can turn that dial off, right? Because you can say, well, we're stopping our paid marketing. We have enough users right now. We can't actually use anymore. When you're actually getting most of those users virally and organically, you can't really turn the dial off. You can't take your app down from Google Play and iOS App Store, can you?
Yeah, actually, if can you please repeat the question because the last one.
No worries.
I
I'm
get
just
some
saying,
connection. Yeah,
like, when you're doing paid marketing, you can turn the dial down and you can stop the influx of new
yeah,
users.
uh,
When it's organic and viral, you can't stop that. People are just coming in, correct?
yeah. Right. Actually, it was an interesting time, a really fascinating time because people were coming and coming, and you cannot stop it. You just need to serve and to make the best application and to serve what they have. But we actually were preparing for that so long, in terms of server capacity and different ability to launch some specific distribution of soft servers in different countries, how to make it simultaneously, how to mix it. So we handled it really fast, but
Yeah.
the organic factor was really 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 big.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the other side. The other
Yeah.
side is that you're in an industry, deepfakes, which is super controversial, right? There's lots of concern that as they get better and better, and you just mentioned that you're going into more high def, high quality deepfakes, that we won't be able to distinguish between reality and fantasy. We already have seen lots of what was so-called fake news from lots of different sources in the U.S. national election. We've seen that. I'm sure you've seen that in your country as well. We've seen that globally, and how are we going to deal with that? You must have given some serious thought to this being in the business. I'll start here. Will deepfakes get so good that we can't tell the difference between them and real video?
Yeah, it's really good question, John, because I believe that every technology can both make harm and make good stuff. Yeah, it's a matter of perception and how you do your business and your life and how you actually create value and how you bring attitude to people. So I think that avoiding some technology like it was for Facebook and Google is not a solution. Yeah, because I actually give a lot of comments and articles on synthetic media, and there were like guys who were actually against deepfakes, face swap, and those who were for. What can I tell that we are, as a benchmark company, we consider us to be the first one who did like this hyper realistic face swap, to be responsible and for responsible for for reliable usage, responsible usage. That is why we give only tiny slice of our tech live. We give like about 10% of what we can do live because we want to control the situation. And you know that our tech was made for fun and entertainment. Yeah. And what you see, what is important, what is the difference with us? You cannot mislead with Reface because the technology is done that way that you actually distinguish what is right and what is real, what is not. You can see specific traits of you, but you definitely understand that this is a specific celebrity or a person. That's our perception to give guys. You can make fun, but you should responsible. You should be responsible in that way. And I believe that every company in that space should be responsible because the more responsible we'll be in face swap, the more people and the public relations and different councils understand that it's not actually a specific bad stuff. It's synthetic media that can help different businesses, marketing areas, gaming, streaming as well. Yeah, it gives an opportunity to people co-create, and we are as a benchmark company doing a lot. And just to add some stuff, what we are doing even now, we actually working on deepfake detection tool. And for example, if some tech was made with some videos was made with our tech, we can actually identify it. Yeah, because you cannot identify all the deepfakes. We're not aiming that, but we're telling guys, if it was made with Reface technology, we can do it. And we even speaking and have in mind future consideration with big companies like Apple, Facebook, how we can work together and to give this tool. For example, guys, you can identify some deepfake stuff. You can identify some bad semantic media. Yeah, understand what is wrong, what is right. Yeah, and this is another stuff is like invisible digital watermark. That means that we actually limited access to people to create the content. If you see Reface, you see the specific videos, yeah? And actually it's all moderated. And we are thinking about launching UGC. We have UGC in beta, but we're always giving a tiny slice and moderating all the content to identify if it has some political stuff, if it might be some adult stuff. So we are actually limiting our widespread and our virality in order to make it properly.
Yes. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And, that is absolutely true. I mean, I shared that video earlier of myself as Rambo. My face is sort of mapped onto Rambo, but it's obviously not, it's obviously me and it's obviously Rambo and it's obviously not real footage. So that's a great thing about Reface. And you mentioned, preserving or watermarking or otherwise indicating video that has been deep faked. What would you say to people who are super concerned about deepfakes from technology that maybe isn't yours, somebody else has created, that isn't watermarked and is presented as authentic? Are there ways that we're going to be able to find that out? Are there tools that we're going to be able to use generally to understand when something is synthetic or when it's real?
Yeah, I guess it will be possible. The more technology gets widespread, the more it develops, the more tools will occur to actually identify deepfakes. Because I would actually distribute those, verticals in entertainment, because we're entertainment and fun space. And there are specific companies who identify deepfakes for some political misuse and some adult misuse. And because you should distinguish, because there is some deepfakes that really tough to distinguish from the real. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And there was a scandal in the Senate, yeah, with a guy who actually tweeted a woman that she was actually showing some signs, but it wasn't true. But he already tweeted it, and it wasn't even deep fake; it was Photoshop, yeah. But it was a perception. In this case, the more tools we will have to identify real danger of deep fakes, who are hardly ever can distinguish it from the real, the better it will be for the world. So my vision and my perception to people who are afraid, that you shouldn't be afraid. You actually can go to some applications like Reface, and you can see how you can create different stuff, amaze your friends. You can make greeting cards. You can understand the bright side, not the dark side of this stuff. And there's the guys, who actually we control those who might do bad stuff. And there are a lot of funds you see, and a lot of companies who raise enormous amount of money to fight synthetic media, bad ones. So don't be afraid, enjoy your life, and if something bad happens, just find the right guys to help you.
Excellent. So it's the Jedi versus the Sith, and deep faking is the Force. I get it. Excellent. So what's next for Deepface? What are you doing? What are you building right now?
Yeah, we're really excited, to show all we want to do to the world, and soon you will see it. So face swap is just the beginning. That is why we want to show the world and the people that we are not only about fun. We are aiming to create the first ever platform for content personalization. What it means that we started from face swap, and we are moving to other big verticals, and that actually really important for us. And we had even B2B contracts before with different marketing campaigns, with different gaming companies, with different celebrities you have seen. And all it was done to validate how people and brands and influencers, as like individual brands, can use our platform, our technology, and how can they actually compete for the seconds of attention of people, of their users, how they can distinguish from the crowd, how can they use personalized tech to actually make a great content. And I would like to add that our main goal in the upcoming year, one of the main goals is actually full body swap. And we actually hired a great guy. His name is Alexei Chapligin. He's Dutch. Yeah, he actually is a guy who was hunted by different great guys from Snap and other big companies. And he joined our company because he believes in our vision and perception to build first ever platform for personalized content. So full body
What does
swap
that
is the
mean?
next banger.
What does that mean? First ever platform for personalized content. Can you unpack that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, like generally, that means that in future we want every human to have its own Hollywood in a mobile form. So what you see now in Reface, then you can use 3 clicks, and you can have the video of post-production Hollywood quality. Yeah. In future, we want human users and brands interact on our platform in specific way where then can both create and consume personalized content. For example, yeah, we're thinking about native ads and some personalized ads. What does it mean? That, for example, you're a superstar, yeah, like Cristiano Ronaldo in soccer, yeah, in football, yeah, and sometimes you don't want to go to be part of some commercials to some other country, yeah. You're sometimes striving to have a great content for your social media. And what if some fans on your page can actually go to Cristiano Ronaldo page on Reface? They can see that, guys, there is a challenge. Create a great viral content, and Cristiano will choose the best one. You can use Cristiano's face, and you'll be part of the story, for example, for the Nike and Cristiano ads. What if they do? Yeah, we're actually iterating on that. Another story, for example, like Gucci, yeah, or some fashion brands and luxury brands. Yeah, those guys actually as well. For example, what if you can make a challenge in China for the most audience who are actually fighting to get Gucci stuff? And what, guys, what if you make some personalized content and you can be the face of Gucci for some specific period of time in China? And we have a lot of use cases. And what we mean that in the basis of our audience, core audience, and the face swap technology, we want to build a platform where brands and people can interact, where creators are incentivized to actually create this content, not only to consume it. And the matter of the fact that it will give different virality, different level of engagement, how people can interact.
This is really interesting. I look forward to seeing how you develop this out because we're seeing the rise of synthetic humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Created individuals, if we can call them individuals, who are owned by somebody who has drawn them, shaped them, formed them, sometimes just in imagery for Instagram, sometimes in full video and audio for other media as well, other channels as well. And you're kind of merging the two, it seems to me, between a real authentic human being and a synthetic human being, and doing that in a really interesting social kind of way, participatory kind of way. I'm not sure I fully understand exactly how that's all going to work out, but it sounds very interesting. It sounds crazy. It sounds wonderful. It sounds amazing. It sounds challenging. And I look forward to seeing how that works out.
Yeah, actually, John, you're close. I love your attitude because how I think about it, yeah. Before we had only voice assistants, yeah. We had like Siri, Cardano. This is just voice assistants you can talk to. And what if you have full body swap with face swap, yeah, and changing some traits, and you can actually synthesize your assistant not only by voice basis, but actually all the figures, all the traits, all the emotions. And those market actually is really interesting, not only for individuals in terms of living your life, you live in several lives, digital lives, when you actually have your only one life in real life, yeah? And you can authentify and doing other stuff. But it's mostly about how even businesses can actually interact. Because if you are influencer, if you are digital influencer, digital avatar, you are not getting ill, yeah, you are not getting hurt, you don't have any mental problems, that's just to be honest, you can be really working machine to make a content and make interaction and all this media stuff above, yeah.
Excellent. I can clone myself. I can be 1,000 people to 1,000 to a million fans. I can be 1,000,000 people to 1 billion fans. And maybe eventually, I'm in Shanghai, and I can have the news read to me by my favorite Chinese star, full body, full video, full audio. Very interesting, crazy, complicated world we're moving towards. Okay,
Yeah,
so want to draw
yeah.
this somewhere to a close. And this podcast, Tech First, is about tech that is changing the world, innovators who are shaping the future. We just talked about a lot of stuff that's very much along those lines. I want to ask you a personal question. Why do you do what you do, and what change do you hope to see in the world thanks to your innovation?
Oh, thank you. It's a great question because I'm really think that I'm a happy person because I love what you do, and it didn't come accidentally. Because when I joined the team like a year and a half ago, and those guys already did a lot of tech. We got connected before, and they did a lot of stuff for semantic analysis, for 2D 3D conversion. Those guys were actually monstrous and craziest people I know in the deep tech and ML stuff. And why actually I love it? Because we're doing something that didn't exist before. And how one of my co-founders actually tell me that it's like dopamine, dopamine incentive, and it's always challenging you. That even like 5 months ago, we were thinking, guys, how we can make it really live, really cool, how people actually change their lives by using our tech. And now we are here, yeah. And now we're thinking, guys, and what if we can do that, and we have a really great technology backlog and the product backlog, and we have like dreamers. And why I'm doing that? Because I'm surrounded by great, uh, interesting people, and they are not actually have any bias, and they don't have any expectation how it would go. They just want to have actually a footprint in history. And to be honest, Reface is not only about fun and some downloads and something like that. It's even about changing people perception and their lives, because we consider that our core feature and the core of our business is changes, not changes only the face, but changes the lives and the perception of fun and emotions. For example, just simple example, we did not only like campaigns for Justin Bieber, Miley Cyrus, big brands. We did even pro bono campaigns for Animal March in Ukraine against animal cruelty. Yeah, and every person that can actually be connected and to be responsible and can act in that march. Yeah, we actually did an online fashion show for the fashion models who couldn't participate because of COVID in the show, but we used 20 faces of these models. Actually, all of them changed in some models going on the stage, and only 3 models physically were involved. But those 20 who didn't have a chance to come, they actually feel the spirit how they can do. Yeah, and why I like it personally, because I can feel myself in some specific roles and some, for example, some specific uh, audiences that I couldn't do. So, for example, I dreamt to be a tennis player. Now I'm not a tennis player, but I can feel myself this way. Yeah. Uh, and, like to be honest, one of the greatest incentives why I do it, because our product is about good, is about fun, is about positive emotions. That brings positive people. And such amount of great celebrities and sports celebrities and really great product guys who came to us now, and we're communicating with them from the Silicon Valley, from Asia, it's really encourages me, and it gives me understanding that nothing is impossible, that if you do something good and it brings joy and it's inevitably for a good purpose, people will love it. Yeah, I
Excellent.
definitely believe that all the business are good, everybody making some efforts, but when you do something great and outstanding and it's fun and people love it, it's even more better to do it better and better and better and develop it.
Dima, that was well spoken, and very, very great to hear. Wonderful to hear. It's wonderful to speak to people who are passionate about what they're doing, who love what they're doing, and who are on the cutting edge and creating things that we have not seen before. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, John. It's a great pleasure.
Excellent. For everybody else, my name is John Koetsier. Thank you for joining us on Tech First. I appreciate you being along for the show. You'll be able to get a full transcript of this in about a week, maybe a couple days at johnkoetsier.com, and the story at Forbes will come out shortly thereafter. The full video is on social channels, but will also live on YouTube forever, perhaps. Thank you for joining. Until next time, this is John Koetsier with Tech First.